session 3 of Adamantine Echoes of the Astral Sea. I forgot to make tokens earlier, so you're gonna, you and so anyone watching the stream directly is gonna see me making tokens. But we're gonna get going on that. So last we left off, Nilo was just told that she's dying.
Excellent.
You have a brain cancer, Nilo.
Yeah.
I'm afraid
I-
it's fatal.
Let me tell
If it was only brain cancer, then she could get it treated in Sphere by Quarian doctor or whatever.
I mean,
more
depends on if it's a
complicated.
blood cancer or not, but
Well, you can still treat that.
yeah, but it's a lot
Leukemia
harder.
is treatable.
It's
Actually,
a lot harder,
brain cancer.
especially if
Brain
you find
cancer is
it
harder to treat than
later.
leukemia.
Anyways,
Anywho,
yes. So I could get frickin' WD gastered at any moment. That's fun. Well, not any moment, but eventually.
We actually make the tokens.
So where to go from there? First of all, was there any further recap you wish to do, or are you good?
Also, Legion was met.
Acknowledged. All right. Not gonna lie, part of me forgot about that.
how could you forget your boy?
You have a steel defender. I have a what? Now I need to look at his stats. There he is.
There he is. That
pretty boy. So, currently waiting for someone to pick us up. You know how to treat this, right?
Ticker rubs the back of his head. Do you want the honest answer or the nice answer?
I put my hands together and then say, how about instead of that, are they also afflicted? Gesturing to the other people I've been stuck with for all of 3 days.
Hello.
Yeah, Ticker sends a little scanning wave over all of you. He kind of taps a few things on his little thingy. Yes, actually.
Figures. Just my luck.
We all have blood cancer.
Okay, we're not gonna use that.
I then, I then just like, all right, now the honest answer.
I don't know.
Even better.
I just knew you were going to say that.
There's clearly something wrong going on here. I'm not sure what it is, though. Hopefully we can figure that out before, well.
Yep. All the conversations is. I imagine after that conversation, Skirvos started smoking furiously. Not necessarily because he cares what happens to these random castaways, but more because he knows. He knows this is gonna turn into a bigger thing. He's been around too long. He knows.
Mhm.
He knows stuff like this is only the sign of an oncoming storm. Anyways, well, that's unfortunate.
Indeed.
Although now that I think about it, there might be a more pressing issue.
Which would
And
be
that is, I just called for. I had someone call. I had Legion here call for help. Are
and
all of? I am not sure if they're. I don't know if they're fine with being made aware of these, or they. And I have no idea what their. And I have no idea what any reactions might be. Considering that as far as I can tell, unless aside from all the human crew members, none of them are documented species in Quarian records.
We'll make sure to keep to the ship.
They're gonna fly up. The hell is that? No. Anyways. Uh, uh, what is your? Do you know how long it might take for you to fix your vessel?
We should have the Duchess operational again based on the orbital period of this planet, probably in a day or so.
that's good.
Well, that shouldn't be too bad. And already seeing some of the guys have to head off to go pick off the piece that broke off.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of need that.
Yeah.
That was one of my
Just a
maneuvering
little
fins,
bit.
wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep. I'm gonna, yeah, absolutely. Skirvo told them to go get that.
Well, actually, he didn't because it shattered into pieces when it hit the ground.
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
okay.
I turn
Like
towards
I thought
Legion
it
and like,
impaled itself into a rock somewhere.
no, it got sheared off by a rock, and it is now rubble.
Okay.
it's bits of fragments and so forth. I turn towards the towards Legion, the Geth platform, and I'm like, is
Yep.
help meeting us here, or do we need to meet with them at a different location? Is help you sent for?
I'm
Uh,
assuming they're just gonna arrive here.
yeah.
Their arrival time should be the arrival. The rendezvous destination has already been decided to be at this location. Uh, and then get ETA and whatever the ETA time is,
Mm-hmm.
because of course the Geth would
I
have an
mean,
estimated
they could talk
time.
at the speed of light. I mean,
Yep.
I mean,
Um,
he's got the most accurate ETA of all. He's like, I know exactly where they are.
He's getting constant updates.
Yeah, like I said. I mean, there's no reason not to when you can when there
when
is
you're this
basically
close to
zero
the
delay between
consensus.
communication.
Yeah, when you're this close to the consensus, especially, there's like no communication lag.
Mm.
Anyways, um, how long is that ETA, by the way?
uh, let's say 15 minutes.
Lovely.
Excellent. So, um, My condolences. I'd say to everyone else.
Vagar's just quiet.
I just shrug. Can't
So
be
is
any
this like
worse
a
than fighting a
virus? What
genocidal
is
war for
this?
30 years.
Is this a curse?
Martin's point of view. There's an almost guaranteed chance you might die today. Business as usual. Must be Tuesday.
Yep.
my yeah. I look back at the unsettling image of what is effectively my tombstone on the monument.
Yep.
Just maybe it's best to have been left.
You know, depending on whether or not we're able to actually find a fix for this thing, and how small your government is, by the time we get that pulled off, you might be dead again and have to get it put back on.
Are there flowers in this
No.
this park? No, god damn it. So he's just gonna stand there brooding.
Rannoch. I'm sorry, it's Rannoch. It's very
like-
arid here.
Yeah, so it was like,
It's
from
fine.
my memory of
He'll
this
live.
region of Rannoch, this is like, standing in Arizona. Maybe not to that level of heat, but certainly that kind of terrain.
Pretty much, yeah. I have no clue what level of heat it is, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I could look it up. I'm not gonna.
Given that it's about the same distance from its star as Earth is, it's probably, warm but not uncomfortably warm.
Yeah. Looking
Not uncomfortably warm. You do realize two of us are wearing black, right?
Hey, I'm insulated. I don't know about you.
I am formerly insulated, no longer insulated.
Well, sucks for you then. That sounds like a skill issue.
Yep.
It's a skill issue.
Well, it's
So,
more of a parts issue.
I'm just starting to take in the scenery, actually.
Okay.
I'm like, strange to actually be here. Not
This is
just
all a very new experience.
it's not just the monument, it's this world. It's somehow it both feels like home but also foreign.
I cannot sympathize with that. This looks nothing like home.
I think a couple of the colony worlds were similar to this. Can't remember their names. It's not important now. They were turned to glass, after all, during the war.
And I have a lot to catch up on, apparently.
It would seem so. Perhaps
Unless there's a
Never mind.
unless I mean it shouldn't have been that long, but the end of a war is still something to it was only 3 days ago. I look at the freaking Reaper again.
Yep.
Just-
It is definitely, it's partially dismantled, but like it's still mostly intact.
Yeah, it's still freaking massive.
Yeah.
From our current distance, can we make out how many shells it was hit with? Or not how many shells, but like little craters and so forth from orbital bombardment shells?
You can't make out how many, but you can tell from this distance it was a lot.
Yeah. I briefly lean forward and I like, Good grief! How many shells did you fire at that thing?
I the entire Quarian migrant fleet.
And how many
So,
ships is that?
let me think. It's I actually have no clue. Out of game. I
It
actually
would
have
have
no
been
clue.
50,000 or
I
something.
actually have no clue how many ships was in the
I rec-
migrant.
if I recall, it's over 50,000. But they would have lost several in the
Yeah,
orbital battles to get to this point. So
absolutely
we'll
did.
we'll chump change estimate it to between 40 and
Okay.
45,000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you're actually really close there. It literally says 50,000 here. So,
Yeah, I took
yeah.
off like
So,
5,000-ish for
yeah,
losses
so
fighting the Death Fleet prior to this point.
there were massive casualties, but at that, there were 50,000 Quarian vessels in the migrant fleet. However, take into
You see
account
my head snap towards you faster than you've ever seen me move.
yeah,
I'm like 50,000, and I looked from you to the wreckage, back to you, back to the wreckage, and I'm like,
there,
good grief.
there were massive casualties. So take into account the ships that were taken out of commission and the live ships that were rightfully pulled out. They should have never been in combat in the first place. And probably around 45,000.
I'm just like, and
All of them had to be targeting, if I'm not mistaken,
all of them?
that point. And I
All of them.
point at the freaking, and I point at the busted, completely exposed section that used to be its main cannon.
Mm-hmm. all, all of them. Good grief, that
All of
thing must
them.
have shields out to wazoo.
The, we still don't know how. Last I heard, we still had no idea how Reaper barriers worked.
Well,
They were better than
I
anything we
I
had.
point towards the hole in the hull, and I'm like, that looks like a single Mac round, probably from a frigate, like a Paris class. Only downside of a Paris class frigate is that they don't have much armor, and well, they're not the best Macs in the fleet. But I mean, what
That
do you expect from basically a Mac gun with an engine stuck on the back end?
and your Mac guns are just rail guns, effectively, right?
Yes. Take a steel slug multiple tons and accelerate it to hundreds of kilometers per hour per second.
That is more or less how most of our weapons work.
So
Just
the
different
orbital defense cannons
sizes.
above reach.
Even
Now those were scary.
even this. Even this. I pull out my gun again. It doesn't fire bullets. It just it just has a block inside that it shaves off small pieces and fires them at hyper speeds. The size doesn't really matter if it's moving fast enough.
I am curious how one of the EPA orbital defense platforms would do against something like that.
Or as
Giant
you're
space station defense cannon.
as
How
you're
fast are
talking,
they?
Ticker approaches you once again. I have a thought as to something that might help, I I'll need to go down into the settlement to confirm it. Do humans exist in your sphere?
Yes. The
He taps a few buttons on his little arm panel thing, and he looks like a human.
That's a clever
A
trick.
shapeshifter.
Just an illusion.
Like you haven't seen one before.
Not all. I don't know how many humans will run into on Rannoch, but it won't be that unusual.
The only shapeshifters I know are witches and werewolves, both of which I don't like. Witches for different reasons.
Oh, dear goodness, when we get to witch space.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have a
dear.
field day.
Yeah.
I don't like their form of necromancy. It's very, very rude.
Hmm.
Why are
You
you
prefer
called
your
a,
ways of necromancy.
Why are you called out of game? Why are you called a witcher when you don't ever seem to hunt or kill witches? As far as I can tell, you generally something else with witches.
Um,
Excuse me?
Anyways,
Say what?
a pair of Geth walk into the area near you. They're just normal sized Geth. They're not
yeah,
primes.
I was wondering if they were kind of
It was
coming
like, it
in
was
on
like,
a
oh, that's what
shuttle
that's
or
are they standard platforms, destroyers, hunters, primes,
More funny
armatures?
automatons. Why don't any of your automatons use
there.
claws?
It's a good chance they're either going to be primes or standard platforms.
Well, I mean, there's the hunters and the destroyers, which are the two intermediate sizes between the prime
Yeah,
and the
they're
standard
they're
platform.
just standard platforms.
All right.
They're more colorful than you remember them being.
What colors are these two?
This
One is green and the other is orange.
Ah,
Like a seafoam
they
green?
aren't Morgeth. They aren't normally this colorful.
does color like
Maybe
indicate specialization or
maybe
something?
it's a side effect of the maybe it's a side effect um of whatever happened here.
Anyways, they
Yeah.
uh, my Geth is still a little, not good. They tell you basically to follow them.
Well,
Basically, they're
Right
they're
away.
they're the ones that Legion sent for, and to follow them.
Yep.
okay, funny
Right.
little thing.
Right. They lead
Let's follow.
you along the edge of the cliff, to an elevator built into the side of the cliff.
I had no idea this was here. I mean, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I have every reason to believe that I was in space the whole time.
Here's move.
Anyways, pile into the
Sorry,
elevator.
answer that question.
It's a
Oh, I thought
pretty
you said
it's a pretty
escalator.
large elevator, so
Yep.
I would imagine
What
so,
is this? A
Everyone,
moving room?
considering primes are like 10 feet tall before
and
their antenna.
an elevator. It's a
Metal box that goes up and down.
So it is a moving room.
Yes. In a crude sense, but yes.
I can see the
Okay.
the
application
principle
of this, but
behind it is fairly simple. Shouldn't It's possible to replicate it even without most technology. Just a
Yeah,
few
like a pulley
pulleys and
system. Yeah, pulley system.
few
Yeah.
pulleys and levers.
Mhm. More advancements simply allow you to go faster, haul more, or if you happen to have a geosynchronous station at the top, you can have a
As the
space
elevator
cable.
starts jetting
You,
itself down,
you can have a
because it
Spartan
might
seems
as well
completely
be a
unaffected.
high-speed elevator.
Spartan it seems completely unaffected because he's like,
Well,
if you
well,
have a
I'm not
space
saying
weather,
like
you
it
can have
affects
an.
anybody. I'm just
Well, yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, it just done. I'm like, I imagine some of you might be like, "Whoa, it's moving fast." I'm just like, this is.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's like, yes, I
You
want.
held
I mean,
dive on the daily. It's fine. We get it.
why are
No,
we
no, no, no,
moving
no,
this
no, 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 no.
fast?
So in Halo, out of character in Haloverse, there are space elevators that go from ground to orbit, which would have
yeah,
to move pretty fast. A
yeah,
to
and
keep
Ah,
the distance, and B to maintain, to actually get up that high and maintain orbital velocity. So he's just like, why are you two? What? Why are you freaking out? It's just a small drop. It'll be fine.
Things don't
This
move
is
this
going.
fast. It's like
This
I'm
is
on the
bizarre.
back of a dragon.
This is bizarre.
Been dropped with this guy before, it's fine.
A Quarian settlement on the homeworld.
What's so odd about that?
There hasn't been one in 300 years.
But there were ones before that.
Yes, but it's not something I ever expected to experience for myself.
Mm-hmm. Takes a bit
At a
of
certain
adjusting.
point, I don't think the idea of Rannoch was real for my people.
Mm-hmm.
I was
That
actually
is
against trying to take
unfortunate.
it back.
That is unfortunate.
Get to the bottom.
Get to the bottom.
Had
The
to do had to do our elevator
elevator
elevator backstory
conversation.
talk.
Yep.
Elevator backstory talk.
So this way,
As
when we
per
get
Mass Effect
upstairs, we'd be
1.
like, "Remember those times we had elevators? Good times."
Anyways,
Listen, I'm a Mass Effect character. I'm on an elevator. Had to make an elevator conversation.
you get to the bottom. It looks very much like an open air version of like the living quarters of not the living quarters, the common areas
Mm-hmm.
on board
Of the
the life ships.
yeah.
So, laid paths and vegetation and various buildings.
I wonder if we're
Things to
going
be either
to.
remarkably well preserved, or you're very
I
good
don't.
at building things very fast.
I not sure. Some of this was already here, I think. And the Geth have been helping. Construction had been expedited by Geth assistance. Thank you, Legion. Um, although well, it won't do us any good. Just standing here.
Mhm. As we
It's
walk, I turn to Ticker and like, so, mm, Ticker, any idea what is causing this condition?
Some sort of desynchronization. I'm looking for this. I'm trying. He's tapping away at his little thing on his arm, which is still visible. Um, I'm trying to find some sort of. I'm trying to find the source. I think there's something going on in this settlement. I'm not sure what though.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna connect my Omni tool to the local area so I can see if so I can at least attempt to get a map.
Okay. Yeah, you
And
you get a map.
yeah, I'm just gonna use it to it would be in my best interest to go to the captain of the area, or would it be captain? I suppose it would be, if that was part of our culture for so long. Can't just drop that out of nowhere.
Wait. You didn't settle another world, you just lived on spacecraft for the last 3 centuries?
I thought I already told you this. We finding a finding a habitable world is difficult. You have to. Our immune system was
Yeah,
already weak
hence the
as
suit, yes,
this
but you didn't bother with
environment.
biodomes or
This
terraforming.
terraforming would take a lot of resources that we did not have.
And biodomes.
With what resources?
Clearly, whatever you built 50,000 ships with.
Most of them were either already from the old my from the old fleet, or repurposed military vessels, or were purchased wholesale from other cultures.
Huh.
Anyways, you're getting a lot of Quarians staring at Legion as you walk past.
Well, of course.
Expected. I'm expected. I'm actually looking through the map to see where the effectively the captain's hut or whatever admiral
Yeah.
place or you know general need to find the person in charge
the
because
equivalent of
Directory.
the equivalent of the town hall.
Yes,
exactly
we
because
have
I
to
have
find the mayor.
not for any Karen reasons, more because I may or may not have brought someone back from the dead, and also I need to be registered into the census.
Mhm.
Re-registered the census.
I need to get myself registered because because right now I am applicable for tax fraud on account of me being legally dead.
Yep. Yep.
Tax fraud is an
Uh,
easy crime to commit. I would know.
Is there anything
and
else any of
as
you want?
much fun as that sounds, my character is a Quarian, and therefore she's too conscious of other people to want to commit something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sad reality of being a Quarian. I have to actually care about what happens to other people.
But yeah, you anything
What the
else you all want
crap?
to do while walking through town?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I'm actively moving, so I can't just sit down and do something. So yeah, I guess we're just gonna go walking.
Yeah, just wander.
I have
Well,
nobody, and I must
following
scream.
Mhm.
this.
I'm just looking around as I follow the group.
Everyone's still in suits.
Yep. And it's all alien architecture.
Mhm.
Yep. Also, lots of Geth walking around.
Yeah.
I
Also, a
guess
sight that's odd for my character.
Not as many Geth as Quarians, but lots of them, yes.
Yeah.
I guess Emiria would be taking notes. That's what she's doing. She has no idea what she's looking at,
How
but
many
she's going to draw it
armatures are
anyways.
there around? I'm just
You
curious.
don't see any armatures currently.
Oh. I mean,
Um,
that makes sense. They're mostly just tanks.
yeah.
They don't really have a civilian application other than
You do
maybe
see
mining excavation.
a prime lifting a girder.
I could totally see them repurposing the Colossus as construction equipment.
Yeah.
Well, because it doesn't really have hands. I think it'd be best used for mining or demolition. Because it's
Well,
basically just a
yeah,
tank.
but you could effectively attach cranes to it.
That, or you could use it as like a tractor. Pull stuff
Pretty much.
for either
Pretty much.
transport or agricultural reasons.
Yeah. Either way, there's lots of stuff that could be going around.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I I almost instinctively instinctively flinch the prime as it walks past because
I look
why
between
wouldn't
you and
I?
the parameter like, why did the big ones make you nervous or something?
The racial
I
profiling.
we've been uh, my people were at war with the Geth for a long time, and
Yeah,
Geth
but is there something
primes
special? Oh,
and a Geth prime, as it's referred to, is heavily armored, have heavily weaponized, highly strong. I gesture to the fact that it's
weaponized to me.
walking with with the fact that it's walking with what might as well be a whole house's worth of girder. and,
Someone I
and
know
they're
will definitely say smash to that. I don't know what that
they're
means, but she would say smash.
yeah, they're a it's still try to try to imagine walking into walking into a safe space, somewhere you're supposed to feel safe, and yet everywhere you look, you see fully armed versions of the people you've been fighting against for so long.
Um,
It's An
That was
adjustment.
last week for me. Sangheli are on Earth now. We have a
Like that.
alliance with them.
It's like that. Imagine trying to
Yes.
adjust for that long term.
So I guess they were lied to, just like we were.
That's
It's complicated.
where is. And I think we should be getting close to Town Hall. Can't believe I just said that.
Yes, where we will find this mythical being known as the Mayor.
As you
Ah,
take a turn
something
down a
like that.
street, you hear a man's voice behind you. Legion?
I'm assuming it's that absolutely stud of a voice that's gonna make
Yep.
me quiver. Just okay. I stopped dead in my tracks, and I'm just like full on.
I almost bump into you. I was like, stole on me. Like, give a warning when you stop so suddenly in the road.
I turn around.
Yep.
Legion.
But it's Bradley. Also, you recognize this person.
What?
It is the wounded man, but he is far less wounded now. He is bandaged. One of his legs is in a cast. He's sitting in a wheelchair, and there is another
Well,
Quarian who has purple as seemingly her
Mhm.
main color, standing behind the wheelchair.
Mhm. I was like,
Oh,
well, you
baby
look to
girl.
be in better shape than the last time I saw you.
Wait,
He looks at
you actually ran into Shepard.
Oh, that's his name.
you for a moment. Oh right, you were the one who smashed the elusive man.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I like subconsciously just start wiping on parts of my armor, blood and Reaper
Um,
chips and stuff.
he waves a hand dismissively. Had it coming.
Yeah.
Ah,
You
one of those
just
types.
uh, uh, sorry, I'm just still laughing about that about the Anderson bit. Just we gotta go. Anyway,
He got cosmic anviled by a Spartan. He's
by a
very, very sick.
you're having a better time at this than I was last time because last time my big armored character got cosmic anviled by a rock. This time you were the cosmic anvil.
Yep.
but
Your big armored character was the anvil. Moving up.
Mhm.
but moving on from that, how is Legion walking around now?
Shepard Commander. We had I had run into an interesting revelation. During at some point it appears as though many of our many of my programs re had been rerouted and found copies of themselves in another space. Our after after a moment, we were able to reconstitute inside Creator Megara's Omni-tool and Suits UI systems. Upon upon our sudden arrival on Rannoch, our former platform was standing at what appeared to be some form of memorial. Our my many many memories reconnected as I reassembled my was able to reconstitute my program within my former platform. Honestly, did really good considering I pulled all that out of my ass.
All you have to do is add a synthesizer to your microphone.
Yeah, right.
He glances up and back at the Quarian, who says, "I don't know how it happened either." Uh, um,
I
Well,
don't know how it happened.
well, at any rate, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, acknowledged. Like, I don't care if they're supposed to talk differently. I kind of really love the way they talked in Mass Effect 2. Also, just responding with acknowledged is still in character.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyways, I am like full on. I'm doing that like fangirl thing where, you're too nervous to say anything, but you want to say something.
Amiria will take notes.
Yeah, cause like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm just in front of. There is just a freaking dead legend of a Geth standing between me and two of the biggest heroes in my people's culture. No big deal.
Mhm. Being completely oblivious to their importance, I just walk up next to you and I set my, well, for you, rather heavy forearm. And I
Yeah.
grab your shoulder and like, pull yourself together. Now, perhaps you should explain our little problem, unless he's not important or
Um.
something.
I'm. Oh, damn it! That stupid little model thing fell off my desk and broke apart.
Oh, okay.
This is so sad.
Yeah. Nah,
I
it's.
get that feeling.
I can put it together, but it's just like,
Mhm.
because it was a pain to put together in the first place. So for it to just fall apart like that is just making me go, really? Anyways, let me just put those back in so I don't lose the pieces, and then put it over here where it won't fall over. Okay. I stutter for a bit. Uh,
The Spartan is heavily considering cognitive recalibration on you.
yeah. I'm just.
She's just
Creator
excited.
Megara,
Just
are
leave
you
her
all?
alone, man.
Creator Megara, are you all right?
She's
Your
just
body,
got a little crush. That's it.
Exactly.
Oh, that's what this is.
your body temperature has raised
Like you've ever
by
felt that
0.36
before.
degrees Celsius. Don't read my vitals. I'm
You're not.
I'm
uh
not doing shit.
Commander Commander Shepard.
He
I'm
puts up a
Nilo
hand.
Magara Vos.
He puts up a hand to stop you. Just Shepard now. I retired after the war.
Of course. I'm Nilo Magara Vasraya. Um, I I have. It's going to sound crazy, but uh, the last thing I remember was the battle for Earth, and now I I noticed my name on the monument, so I think I was left for so I think I'm believed to be dead.
You left out a
The
detail.
last thing you remember
Order.
was the Battle of Earth. You have some friends with you here that
Well,
don't
um,
appear to be from
Sir, so when
any
I
planet
dropped
I know
out
of.
and
the
squashed what's his name, apparently
I
while I
don't
was
know how
doing
to
that,
explain this without. I
she
don't know how
sucked
to
into a portal somewhere else. And then that one, and I point to Amiria, somehow teleported into an anti-aircraft gun that I was inserting onto to take out with my own
Um,
strategy.
No.
Taker looks up from his little tool for a moment.
Yeah.
In short, every one of us except for Nilo and Legion come from beyond this universe.
I didn't know. I didn't know how to explain any of that without sounding completely crazy.
I assume he knows I'm not one of him. I'm certainly not one of your constructs.
He
You
he
don't have
looks
enough lights.
he looks closely at both Ticker and Nilo for a moment. I've seen a lot of crazy, and whatever it is you're telling me, you at least believe it to be the truth.
Yeah. Again, I deliberately left out those details because I had no clue how to not sound like a raving lunatic while saying it.
Mhm.
Emiria is not going to take out Ivo at the moment to prove the point that we're from somewhere else.
But
Yeah.
that was 6 months ago. Where
So long. Oh,
But
where were
what?
you in the meantime?
But it's only been a few days.
interesting.
I look at Tichter, hoping he has something of an answer.
Well, I mean, they did mention that time.
He he
Well,
he looks
moves
at he looks at you.
different.
Time works differently in the Astral Sea. You
Exactly.
got desynced from your sphere's time stream when you left.
I wonder how long
Oh,
it's been in my world.
Under normal circumstances, you would stay synchronized, but something like shifting tends to
uh,
cause strange effects.
so you're saying I am 6 months behind on figuring out how to build a functional society with the rest of my people?
Sure, looks like it.
Yeah.
Ticker just shrugs.
Yeah, she's got that look of, oh good lord. Kiva. It's no wonder it all looks so structured.
It does explain a couple things.
I, so what's happened since then?
um, Both of them tell you some things. I'm not gonna bother saying exactly what they say, but both of you tell you some
World building.
things about how Rannoch was settled and the Reapers seem to be on their side now
I'm gonna stare at them on
and have been
that.
helping to rebuild.
I'm gonna stare at them on that. That's sounds completely insane considering where I left off.
Yeah. They tell you that they didn't trust them at first either.
Well, I have no I have no idea about your I have no idea. Well, well, I know that I know that Admiral Zora wouldn't try to lie, wouldn't do anything to put our people in danger. And and I again apologize for anything that may have led to that assumption. Oh, although that was a while ago.
Um, but as you're talking, you hear rapid footfalls from another direction.
I look in the direction.
You
I look
see a
over because
Quarian running towards you. Um, he appears to be running like a little bit panicked, he runs around the corner that you that you rounded before you met Shepard, and stops, hands on his legs, like clearly out of breath, and his breath's clearly very shaky. Um, Remind me who the captain of the Raya is?
Oh,
Let
what was
me
his
double
name?
check real quick.
What was his name?
I believe his name
Is
was.
Geralt the captain of the Raya?
No, Garrel's the admiral on the Raya, but there was
Oh
another
yeah,
captain.
I was meaning it's Geralt. That's the
Okay.
Quarian
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Admiral
that
Garrel.
runs up to you. That it is Admiral
And
Geralt.
Garrel's. Yeah.
Yeah, Admiral Garrel.
He holds up a finger as he takes in several more
When you
breaths.
mentioned Admiral, the Spartan noticeably stiffens, like in posture.
Yeah.
As he takes in several more breaths, and then he straightens himself up. He immediately turns to Shepard. Do you care to explain what just happened? What
I
do you mean? I haven't
I
seen
step
you for a week.
I step I like get out from in between the two of them. I back out of in between the
Mhm,
two of them.
mhm.
I,
Well, it would be useful if you would explain to me why someone who looked just like you tried to strangle me. Well,
Sir, he's been here with
and but
us
I
for
do I
chatting
have
for a
another
few minutes.
Shepard? Do you have another clone running around?
I guess that could be. I guess
Good.
Cerberus could have
Sorry.
another clone.
I couldn't help but have Tally do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I figured that's who was talking there.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Sorry. I mean, that was
Clone.
such a weird event. Of course, they would
Mhm,
immediately think of that,
Yeah,
mhm.
especially considering how nonchalant everyone was about it.
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's such a very Cerberus thing to do.
Yeah. I especially love that Rex, of all
Mhm.
people, was just like, huh, all right.
But why would a clone go after Geralt? Maybe they're looking to destabilize the the looking to destabilize. This is I'm not gonna do Tally's voice because I'm just gonna
Yeah,
butcher it. This is Tally
Mhm,
yeah,
talking, to be
no,
clear.
yeah.
Um,
mhm.
Maybe they're trying to destabilize the Quarian the Quarian rebuilding efforts.
And what would that achieve, other than you all would be back to being
Well, if it's
alive?
Cerberus, then well, if they're talking about Cerberus, they could be just trying to fuck around with things. They've never had the best of reputations among non-humans. I do when I say non-humans, I do that like quotations,
Yeah,
but
air
with only my
quotes.
Mhm.
index. Yeah, but with notably with only my index fingers, because I only got the three fingers.
Yeah. Um, could be.
Not
We'll.
not to mention they attacked the migrant fleet.
Well, we should
Hey, I've
probably
got
take a
guts.
look. And Ticker will stop for a moment. I have an idea. He reaches forward and plucks what appears to be a long hair that got stuck to Geralt's mask,
Yeah,
and he puts it up to his little tool thing. That's interesting. And he taps a few more
Buttons.
buttons. That would do it. You see, he like broadens the screen so you all can see it. Um, he shows you three things that look like waveforms. See, this is the signature of the sphere that we're in. This
All right.
is, well, it's you said your name was Shepard. It's his signature, and this is the signature of the hair. This, which I'm presuming came when Geralt here was when an attempt was made on his life. Um, as you can
Getting the
see,
shit beaten out of him.
these two signatures are nearly identical.
Meaning,
There's likely a duplicate of this shepherd running around. Not a clone in the same sense as you were talking about earlier, but a, how do I put this? A temporal duplicate?
A what? You
lovely.
you mean to wait, you mean to say that there's are you just trying to, but if it's a temporal duplicate, wouldn't that just mean that there's just another shepherd running around? Why would he try to hurt Garrel? Admiral Garrel.
That's not something I know. Though the signature is a little bit different. There's some differences here. Here and here. He points to a couple of spots that could account for the difference in behavior. We'd have to we'd have to
Find
find
him.
this other shepherd in order to determine what's going on here.
Lovely.
Do you think it's somehow related to I I gesture between myself and the others.
If a sphere has temporal duplicates, well, there's no precedent for that happening, and it would certainly cause instability. Could be the cause.
This is just peachy.
We we need to find this other shepherd.
Mhm. I look towards Shepard and I'm like, say, you wouldn't happen to still have my shotgun that you collected when I dropped on that poor unfortunate fool?
Oh,
What?
yeah, if you're going after another me, you could probably use the artillery. Um,
That's one
he
way of
he
describing your
rolls back.
M60.
He's been just outside a doorway the whole time, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He
We've just
rolls
been
his
outside
chair.
his frickin' house.
Yeah, yeah, you've been outside their house. Um, he rolls his wheelchair into the
Oh,
house.
that means she didn't make it for beachfront property. Ugh.
Well, technically, it was
Couldn't.
never a beachfront. Riverfront property?
Yeah.
The beachfront requires a beach,
There
requires
is
an
a
ocean.
there is a river nearby. Um,
Yeah,
Okay.
riverfront property.
Good enough.
and also
Granite Riviera?
it's near the cliff. So, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
but he retrieves. He after a few moments he emerges holding your shotgun.
Mhm.
Looks like it sustained a little bit of damage, probably when you hit the ground, but it should still fire.
Uh, uh,
An
uh,
archaic piece.
I just after I assume he just like tosses it. I catch it with one hand and I pull the pump back just enough to check and see if a shell is loaded. Then I reslide it forward
Mhm.
and return it to the mag clamp on my back and like
Yeah.
it may be not as high tech as some other weapons, but it packs a mean punch.
Uh-huh.
Can kill a shielded Sangheli one
I
shot at
probably
close range.
I pr- I
Kicks like
sh
a horse if you're not augmented, though. Though I suppose so does the SRS 99 or the M99 or the
Uh,
Gauss rifle.
let's go
Geralt,
take
who seems to be a bit more composed now, but still clearly worried, he points back the way he came. The duplicate was back that way.
hmm, I I look at Shepard, who looks as calm as could ever be, and I'm just like, I almost,
So cool.
if it was, I just look at him, like kind of look around at the settlement and go, you know, I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised. Uh, what's I should I should probably make sure my equipment is up to date. I have no clue what leaving the galaxy would have done to my Omni tool. Because weren't you saying something along the lines of my Omni tool being a little busted?
Yeah.
Yeah. We should probably make sure that's working before we go hunting another shepherd.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Tally fixes it.
Yeah. So I'm now able to do the homunculus and the
You will be shortly. I will get you the part. Don't worry.
okay, and the Omniblades fair game now.
Yeah, Omniblade is fair game.
Excellent. I'm gonna thank you, Admiral Zora.
Um,
This is going to be many mixed feelings, trying to hunt down who is a hero for our people.
Well, something's going on.
well,
Oh,
if this
hi, Sarah.
version
Welcome.
would be willing to, well, if this version would be willing to kill Geralt, presumably he's not. He's not as heroic.
Does the and how it wouldn't surprise me at all, considering that Shepard had punched me in the past.
Tally looks at him. You deserved that, and you know it.
I look between the two and I'm like, and then I just said, you know what? I am, and then you all hear me mutter, I am not high enough ranking to get involved in this.
Yeah, neither am I. Why do you think I'm quiet?
You hear me briefly muttering about Admiral squabbles.
Yeah.
Never agree on anything.
I'm going to have to get re-educated on our government structure, probably. Let's see about maybe I'll. All right, let's go hunt us a shepherd.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, the Quarian the commander and the Quarians stay behind because
Yeah.
because Geralt doesn't want to get killed, and
Obviously,
Mhm.
Shepard
Shepard's in
is
this not in a combat ready position.
yeah, Shepard's not in
Yep.
a combat ready position, and because of that, Tally stays with Shepard.
Mhm.
Yeah. However, yeah, I bet he trusts Legion.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, you head down the path.
I imagine Legion was initially confused, but then was able
No.
to basically catch up on the Citadel DLC through extranet stuff.
Yep.
Mhm. No, but we all know what. As soon as we leave, what Shepard and Tally are gonna do? They're gonna call up their boy Garrus. They're gonna call up Grunt. And they're gonna call up Rex. They'll be like, "You're never gonna believe what just happened.
It happened again.
We're just gonna suddenly
Listen,
hear out of the ether
listen,
Rex
we
cackling
think it's
from
happening
behind.
again. We
We're
think
just
it's
going to hear.
happening again.
Yeah.
Garrus, make sure the Normandy's still at dry dock when you leave.
No, we're just gonna hear cackling out of the ether. That is Rex having just a laughing fit to end a laughing fit.
If anything, I almost imagine like Rex being both happy but also very disappointed that he can't join in said hunt. Because hunting an evil
Sad dinosaur
shepherd
noises.
was a friggin' field day, I bet. I mean, it was I mean, it's the kind of fantasy that Krogans seem to dream about. I mean, how many times have you heard him ask whether or not you'd win in a fight between you or Shepard?
Mhm.
Anyways,
Where are we headed, boys?
So yeah, you head down
in
the
the,
path a ways, and eventually you find, you know, you see more Quarians.
Mhm.
The first human you see is a, well, he looks interesting. He is currently sprawled on a park bench with a bottle in his hand, passed out drunk.
A drunk,
A
Um,
beggar.
presumably.
make perception checks, please.
I want to point
Perception.
out that it's probably a lot harder to get friggin' human food here than like they're in a unique position where they're
Mhm.
actually the exact reverse of what Quarians are usually in.
Yeah,
Now
Mhm.
it's harder to find food that can feed him.
Fourteen.
yeah.
Anyways, perception
13.
check, you said,
Yes.
yeah?
And Nilo, you
Yep.
can do this one at advantage.
Wait, no. Uh, slash roll, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
D 20
Or
plus,
just
what
slash
is it?
R.
Yeah.
Perception, you say?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I was away from computer working on something.
At advantage. There you
I was about to
There
say,
we
go.
are.
how is the Spartan the only one that
Okay.
noticed you?
The Spartan and Nilo, appropriately enough, the two that met Shepard earlier. Um.
Yeah.
Uh. This man is Shepard, but also not Shepard. He is a lot more disheveled than the guy you just met.
Mhm.
His hair is longer and more unkempt, greasier. Uh, he has a like
I'm, ass-
the
I'm
the
assuming he has the freaking red Cerberus scars.
he does not. Um,
Okay.
he does
I was kind
have
of hoping
he
it'd be
does
the.
have a scraggly beard though,
Uh,
which the shepherd that you met earlier did have a longer beard than you remembered him having, but it was still like neatly kept.
Mhm.
yeah.
Um,
Is this the guy we're
he's
supposed to kill?
also more out of shape, and you also notice a the purple mask of Aquarian with a huge crack running through it, dangling from his belt.
I
This was easier than I expected. I don't think this is the right one we're supposed to find, but at the same time,
either
I don't think
it
he belongs
this
here either.
this that's that's undeniably right, but not right. Are you good at restraining people?
As long as they're not Gerald Hanai or Sangheli. They're both the strong or stronger than I am.
I mean,
I'm gonna do like a
I mean, this guy is clearly pretty out of shape,
yeah.
and
I'm gonna
I
do a
did
two-handed.
as I approach him, I just turn to Neil and say, "I'm more likely to break him than he is of getting away."
I'm just
I
gonna
just with one hand
cash.
like grab this back of his shirt and just sort of lift him up so he's now dangling a
Watch,
foot off the ground.
watch out, he might have a knife.
he takes a he wakes up and takes a wild swing at you. So I'm gonna roll his attack roll for that. He will be
Ah, yes.
attacking at
With my other
disadvantage.
hand, I just catch his fist.
He will
I'll
be
sh-
attacking at disadvantage if because you know he is drunk. Um,
I'll shoot you again, Rex.
Oh, ca- yeah, that misses. That misses. I either catch his fist
yeah,
or
yeah,
he hits one of my armor plates and breaks
you
his hand.
you catch his fish, his fist.
His fish.
He had a fish.
I know you
Yeah,
It's
you
a
you
fish.
you catch his fist as he tries to punch you. But
I wouldn't do that if I
who
were
are
you.
you? Put me
Let
down.
All right,
That's
let's.
right now. I
All
literally
right,
throw him
all
over
right.
my
Let's
shoulder
get
like
him.
a sack of wheat.
Don't listen to him, Beefcake. He's
Let's.
lying to you.
Stud. Stud.
I am now carrying him over one shoulder like he's nothing more than a sack of potatoes.
Well, let's bring him back. Let's bring him back. Everyone's going to have a field day with this. Not every day you find something like this.
A drunkard?
I
A
take my shotgun
drunkard
off
that
my
looks
back magnet
exactly
and just
like a
hold it like mid-barrel with one hand just to make sure he doesn't grab it.
Yeah.
a drunkard that looks exactly like a war hero.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
Um,
forget, he's thrown over the shoulder of a human that's 7.5 feet tall in power armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, so let's take him back. See what happens.
All right. You
See if he needs those hands.
we take him back. He protests very loudly with some very choice words.
Don't you know
Um,
language like that is unbecoming of an officer?
Is he?
Well, assuming if they're the same person, I assume they would have the same rank. Former officer?
Perhaps.
um,
Technically, that language
I'm
is still
actually gonna
unbecoming of
take
an
the.
NCO.
I'm
but-
actually gonna confiscate the mask on his belt.
okay.
It'd probably be prudent to try to figure out who this belonged to at least.
Make an athletics check or acrobatics check, or no, make a sleight of hand. Make a sleight of hand check. That's what the check would be, because
Oh.
because he is not going to let you take the mask.
Obviously.
I will.
His hands can't
I
exactly
will
get
cast
to protect-
guidance in the
get-
form
get
of
the-
I
get
am
where he protects his
instructing
hands, though.
Milo.
It's
Oh.
mine.
Yeah, he tries to like grab the mask as you try and take it, and he just doesn't.
He's like.
He
And
seems a lot more down after you take it.
who did this belong to?
Do you have any way
What-
of like keeping like, an ID chip or something in those things?
Give me in a little bit. Not a good idea doing something like that while walking.
Perhaps your robot friend can analyze it while walking. AI are great for that kind of thing, for that kind of stuff.
True. I'll hand it to Legion,
Okay.
and because I'm sure he can multitask better than I can.
Yeah. He also starts shouting some choice profanities at Legion, like, and also mixed in with a "How are you back?" and "How dare you show your face here?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I just turn to my compatriots. It's like, do one of you want to smack him on the head? Because if I do, I'm likely to shatter his skull.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Yeah. You.
We
No,
could
no.
put
Do
him-
you want to? Go ahead.
You
could-
knock him. You knock him
You-
unconscious again.
All right. So this is odd. We're all right. So do you want me to roll something for Legion or?
Legion, roll a history check.
Okay. Does he use mine or?
His modifier is on his stat block.
Okay, let me just find it again. I have two stat blocks on the same page.
I think I have an idea of who this is.
I know who it
Can
is.
access the consensus, which is basically like a giant archive. Would he have advantage?
No, because he's still like he's
still
still
repiecing himself together.
yeah, he's still repiecing himself together. His physical form is still a little bit not
Damaged.
up to fully functionality. Like that's why he's starting at second level and not 20th level.
That also makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, I gotta say, that great big old hole he's walking around in his torso has got to do some damage to his software ability to talk to itself.
Anyways,
Wires nicked and stuff like that. Sorting out.
so Legion got a dirty 20, it
Yeah,
seems.
it's exactly whose you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
This appears to be Creator's auras. What?
Eh.
I turn to
I
you.
take
Do
it
you happen
back.
to keep spares or something? Considering how important they are?
Having one for with something like this, this would be a death sentence.
Hence why I asked, do you happen to keep spares?
I point at the giant crack in the face. If you have a suit breach this bad already, you're not going to survive.
Depends on what caused the breach, where you were when the breach happened, and how quickly you could fix, and you can get to a new one, I suppose.
Sounds like some
But I get your
answers to
drift.
me.
We should get back. I'm a little jumpy now.
Yep.
I take slightly bigger steps.
Yeah, you
And by slightly bigger, I'm doing more of a power walk, so you all are probably almost at a jog to keep up.
yeah, you reach the you reach back to the house. Geralt is gone, but the other two are still there. Oh, looks like you found the duplicate.
We don't think that's the same one, unless Admiral Geralt was attacked by a drunk. And I just toss
I'm
him down,
confused.
almost gently.
Yeah, he grunts as he hits the ground, but doesn't wake up.
I pull I I walk forward with the mask. I'm confused.
Oh.
Because I'm sure Tally's not
Yeah,
gonna have any trouble
yeah, she
recognizing her own.
recognizes her own mask, obviously.
Like, where did you get that?
Oh.
kind of a thing.
He had this with him.
On his belt.
Don't you
Interesting.
think?
I'm very confused and would like an explanation, please.
I think I know what's going
I don't exactly have an explanation to give you.
Do you happen to keep spares of your mask?
Out of character, I don't know if that's a thing.
I'm pretty
Honestly,
sure it's not actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not.
But Spartan doesn't know that. Spartan's going, mask is
Yeah.
crucial to suit
Yeah,
function.
yeah.
No.
Considering
You
that
should keep
usually
spares.
usually you could get away with Omnigel, and again, if you suffer damage that bad, you are not gonna make it.
Yeah.
No. Our suits are.
She's pretty much gonna give the same thing I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Almost word for word.
Yeah, same thing you did.
Yep. Like, perhaps there was another you, like there's another him that met an unfortunate end. As I gesture towards the cracked mask.
Ticker reaches down and plucks a hair off of the
Drunk.
the drunk's head.
Off a drunk shepherd.
Yep. He scans it with his thing. Yeah, this is the duplicate. Signature matches exactly.
This is my favorite store on the Citadel.
You see my
Can't wait
head
to go
looking
to-
down at him, tilted sideways in visible confusion. I'm like, and I just mutter, drunks.
I
30
can't wait to
years
actually
dealing with
wander into a.
Trogonius
I can't wait to
feeling
go to
like
the Citadel at some point and just walk into a store and that actually plays.
Alright. Well,
That was great in the second game. I loved that part.
You could do that with every store and there was no
Yeah.
consequences. That was
Yeah.
my favorite
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
well, we should
Which made it funnier.
maybe figure out how to solve this echo. It's hard. He scans over the whole. He doesn't say echo. This duplicate. He scans over the whole duplicate multiple times. Hmm.
We should probably restrain him better, just in case he gets out of whatever state he's in.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I guess I
Shape
am
or
holding
not,
a
it's
rope on
still
me.
Yes, you
Shepard.
do have a rope.
Yeah,
A very strong rope because it is made of drider silk.
right.
Ah,
Um,
use your drider silk rope.
you know, Emiria is curious of this situation because she has no ordinance, or at least like belief that we are even talking to the supposedly real shepherd in front of us.
Yeah.
Something's up. What if, hear me out,
Yeah.
that drunk shepherd is the real one?
What makes you think that?
Without even looking up, Ticker just says, "No, the one in the
Okay.
wheelchair's signature matches."
That would have been a fun
He
plot
matched the.
twist.
He matched the. This Shepard matched the wavelengths better. I still don't understand that science, but the but this but he knows more about this situation than any of us do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
Even if that would be bugger all.
come, little Ivo. We got someone to tie up.
All right,
Ivo's
that's
just
going to
like
be a
okay
Weaver's
from under the
tools
cloak.
check. You
A
tie
what
him
kind
up.
of Weaver tools?
Yes,
All
Weaver's
right.
tools. Normally it would be a straight dexterity check, but since you have proficiency with Weaver's tools, you get to use them.
Oh, right. I never checked it, but I checked it now. Yes, we indeed. I indeed have the
Yes, I fixed that.
Okay.
have the
All right.
tinker tools. I have my
Can I
tinker
count
toy
as
tools.
myself having an advantage because I'm having two people do this?
Are you having two people do this?
Yeah. It's me and what is it? And my familiar, well, not familiar,
Oh, yeah,
my homunculus.
your
Your
homunculus
fish boy?
can give you the help
Yes,
action.
little
Yeah.
fish boy.
Yeah.
Okay, 11. That's not much better.
I mean, you tie him up.
You,
Just to reference, that is the DC if he tries to loosen the knots.
Yeah.
I grab my magnum off my leg mount and just hold it in one hand off to my side, ready to
Yep.
aim it, but not actually aiming it at anything other than the ground at the moment.
Right, Ticker stops scanning the duplicate. Looks like, from what I can tell, you see a bunch of stuff on his screen in a language you can't read. It
Barry can
looks
read
like
it.
he
No.
is definitely part of the desynchronization. There's a couple of different ways we could resolve this. It looks like killing him would fix it, but it's also possible. Getting similar readings to like a wandering spirit here. And usually to get them to move on, you need to solve some sort of issue.
Spirits are just
He needs to
superstition.
move on, I guess.
No.
mhm.
I thought
He's
spirits were
he's
just some sort of
definitely
superstition.
grieving. So I mean, we just need him to move on.
I mean, he is tied up. We could send him to the blessed sleep a
Spirits
lot
aren't
faster.
spirits are spirits are superstitions mostly attributed to Quarian or to Turians.
Depends on
And
the
even they
sphere.
don't.
I won't get into it right now.
Hmm.
Ticker's on the freaking.
It's gonna be up to the magic
Right.
people to be like,
All
we
he
gotta
needs
hunt
to
down that
do
ghost.
is go to therapy.
I suppose, but
Anyone?
that would take a while.
Right, then yeah.
Wait, they have effective therapy?
No. It's called drinking, but
Does the mask?
it looks like it's not working out for him.
Does
Hmm.
this?
I would not describe drinking as therapy. Then again, ODSTs
this-
can use it quite regularly.
Does this have anything to do
They
with
are a
it?
crazy
I
bunch.
point to the. I'm holding the mask.
Possibly.
It definitely came with him, wherever the duplicate came from. Could be connected to whatever it is that's keeping him here.
Mm-hmm. Perhaps he
Well,
stopped
Perhaps
us
we
from while he
should
attacked the Admiral.
ask him when he wakes up?
I'm not sure. I don't think you're. You said you got another reading somewhere?
Yes, it looks like there's another duplicate in this sphere somewhere.
Oh,
So
lovely.
now
Any idea
I
where?
can't pinpoint it, but
Do
if
you at least know if it's on the planet?
it's impossible to know, but if this shepherd is a celebrity, like you say, should be relatively easy to find reports of him doing things.
Very well.
Legion, Legion, uh, do an do an extranet scan of using the keywords shepherd.
All right.
So, so
Legion.
he's just I'll have him run that for
Yeah.
however long's needed
Mhm.
because that might.
Yep.
Cause that might
I
be good.
nudge the
I'll
drunk
tell
shepherd with my boot.
you after a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I nudge the drunk shepherd with my boot while I get a more proper combat grip on my pistol and
He
aim it
he
down towards his head.
he grunts and growls but doesn't wake up.
We should probably
How hard
set
did
him
you hit
up.
him?
We might want to set him up in case he tries to throw up.
I mean, we're watching over him anyway, so I mean, even if he does throw up, I mean, I don't think we'll have him like choke on his own.
On his own sick.
Yeah, I mean, we're here, so I mean,
Ugh, I
Alright.
hate drunks.
I guess I don't want to get on my clothes. We should face him away.
I've had worse on
With
me,
one
so
hand, I grab his shoulder and sit him upright.
Okay.
We'll sit him against the wall so he's so we don't have to keep holding him up, but he can just be
Mhm.
against the wall.
Mhm.
See if there's like a
All
bucket
right.
inside this house. I mean, you guys do have buckets here, right?
I
Yeah,
mean,
they would
there's a lot of good uses.
Yeah.
I don't see why there wouldn't be. The
Yeah,
buckets
they
are
would have
useful no matter
buckets,
what
and
area you're from.
yeah, and there's also a river very close by.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Granted, they might have gotten a water purification system already,
And a
but
well and stuff.
who knows? Maybe Shepard picked up. For all we know, Shepard picked up the hobby of studying seashells in honor of Morden. I don't frickin' know what he does anymore.
Mhm.
Although I imagine that's more of a this one's pretty.
Okay, so yeah, you I assume you're gonna throw a bucket of water on him.
Okay, yeah, we could do it with the rude awakening. All right, this is interrogation time.
All right,
All right.
who is throwing
waterboard,
the bucket of water on him?
Hmm. Okay,
Not
who's
me,
good
because
cop
I
and who's
didn't
bad
think
cop?
to do that.
I think Amelia, because Amelia thought of it. I was just going to be like, one
Okay.
of you slap him. Again, if I do it, I'll break his
Okay.
neck or his face.
All right,
Okay.
so
Yeah, you don't need to make
limits of
you don't
super
need to make a
strength.
check to do that.
we're gonna have
Are
the
you sure you want to
monstrosity.
be?
We're gonna have little Ivo be the bad cop.
Okay.
Are you sure you want to be here? Come, Shepard.
He looks at he looks at he looks at the duplicate. Probably wouldn't be a very good idea. He probably would think I'm a Cerberus clone. And
Perhaps.
Well, if the mask is any indication, Tally probably shouldn't be here either. So,
We'll tell you what we find out from him, sir,
yeah,
ma'am.
they go inside.
All right, bucket time.
All right, yeah. You splash the bucket of water on his face.
Eli!
He he sputters awake, yells some profanities in your vague direction. And yeah, he's gonna struggle against the ropes because he realizes he's tied up.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Bradley, I'm gonna need you to
Make a
just
make a brawn check real quick, or
Okay.
intimidation check, whichever one you want.
I'll use brawn because my strength intimidation is much better than my actual intimidation.
Because you're directly threatening him with threats of physical violence because you did that earlier. So
Bradley step on him.
None of you know
yeah,
my name. You only know my number.
he
I just
stopped
Oh,
he
wouldn't
stopped
do that if
struggle
I were
he
you.
stopped struggling immediately.
okay, stun muffin. Step on him.
Yeah.
What was your number again?
31.
031 or
031?
31.
Yep.
He glares up at all four of you. Who
He
are
notices I
you?
am definitely holding a pistol pointed right at him.
That's a
I slap him. You will be the one asking the questions
Mila!
here.
what?
Why did you attack the Admiral?
He was never an admiral, as far as if I remember if my
No,
extranet
he's asking the duplicate that.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought you were
Yeah.
talking him
No,
as
no,
the
no.
admiral.
I'm not. Miri is interrogating him. I'm just looking right at him. Why'd you attack the Admiral?
Oh,
I know Shepard's not an Admiral. He said Commander.
I mean,
yeah.
what are you talking about, Geralt?
I
Admiral
believe that's
Garrow.
what his name. I believe that's what you said his name was. Yes.
Yes. He was the admiral of my ship.
Ah.
He
Yeah, him.
he looks at the mask in Nilo's hand. His inaction cost me cost me dearly. I thought I had made him pay once, but evidently I didn't finish the job.
Uh-huh.
What
Perhaps
are
you did.
you
Perhaps you
talking
didn't.
about?
What do you mean what am I talking about? You're probably one of the last of your kind.
I look right below. Do you want to tell him, or should we keep him in the dark?
We? I am most certainly not. Last I heard, Commander Shepard managed to broker peace between the Geth and the Quarians.
He like what's the word I'm looking for? He's like, if that idiot had listened to me, maybe.
Have you not taken a look around?
Muffin, pick him up. Turn him around.
You get the distinct feeling that the 7.5 foot tall armored titan is glaring at you, but you can't tell behind the gold polarized
He
visor.
he glances around.
People perfectly fine walking
I
around
grab
with
him
meth and
by
stuff.
the shirt collar right at the
Just
scruff
a
of his neck
just
and
a
hoist
casual
him up.
Tuesday.
What on what on earth happened here? How are there so many of you left? Your entire fleet was wiped out.
I just
Hmm.
drop him. I'm like
Last
holding his
I
collar
checked,
right at face height, but I just drop
they
him and I look right
converted
at you.
many of the migrant fleet was never shut down. Are you all right?
I just dropped him from 6 feet. I don't think anyone's all right from that kind of a drop.
He
He probably landed with a oof.
he just stops for a second. What
So we break the news
kind?
to him.
Am I still? I must still be dreaming.
Oh no! If this is definitely not a dream.
I mean, it's the problem is he's. Hmm. How much have you? How much have you had to drink?
I don't know. I tend to lose track.
Same.
He's just saying this
Maybe
while like you can like he has a very 1,000-yard stare kind of look right now.
Okay,
maybe
Should we tell him the
before
truth?
you attacked Geralt, what's the last thing you remember?
you're.
I went to sleep. Then I woke
Where?
up. I don't remember where I went to sleep. And then I woke up and Geralt was in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You're.
Well, actually, hold up, hold up. Stud Muffin, you said that you've met this man before, right?
Not this one, but yet, yes.
Right, this supposed man. Okay, all right. Mister, we're gonna call you Mister Vagabond because you're different from the other one. Have you ever met this man before?
No.
All right then. Well, it seems that this is a different person. Hmm.
No, I couldn't
Don't you have
tell.
any Don't you have any concept of sensitivity? Clearly, something else is going on,
Right.
and in his current state, you might just send him completely manic if you drop a complete fuck ton of information on him that makes no sense to most sensible people.
Hmm. All right.
He's
Well,
grieving. That's what.
the guy is grieving, and he is currently surrounded by three individuals that look very different from anything he's ever seen before, and you. Oh, and also the big robot, which apparently he knows, but he also doesn't know because it might not be the same one. And so something
Hush.
is up inside his head.
What makes you think their fleet was destroyed?
I I watched it. I I couldn't.
You watched it.
I watched as I watched as the as the Geth fleet tore them apart.
How were you not crushed with all the rubble? With all that much ships falling out of the atmosphere?
I still don't know that.
The Spartan's got his head turned off to one side. If his helmet was off, you all would see confusion visibly like
Yeah,
all over his face.
if
You're
if only
what's
I had been.
maybe what I put my hand on his shoulder. Maybe what you need right now isn't an interrogation. You need some time to sober up. Clearly you've had a a bad time, and I don't think now is the best time to try to explain things to you.
I turned to Nilo and like, got any coffee on this world? ODST is drinking a pint
Anything
of
that he
gallon to unsober themselves, to sober themselves up before a drop.
anything he could drink, that's going to be that's going to be something. Let me see. I could go. I could see. I don't know where we. I don't know where to search for such things. I'm going to get.
Perhaps your friend inside.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna. I'll be. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go inside.
Okay.
I'm gonna go inside the house.
All right.
I'm gonna.
Inside, it looks like a mixture of human and Quarian architecture.
Quaint. Uh, I move a little quickly, and before I talk to them, I like almost stop and realize I just casually walked into this guy's home.
Mhm.
Um, do you know what might be a good? Do you know what might be a good place to get something to help with to help to help with absurd drunkenness? The other you seems to be extremely depressed and must have turned to alcohol to try to alleviate it.
I want to check if coffee actually sobers you up. No, it does not.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
No, no.
That'd be great, but
He'll
Be-
probably just need time to sober up.
Hmm. Well, if the ship is being done in a
Yeah.
day, then
Coffee
that means
doesn't
we don't.
actually sober you up, but it, in a way, counteracts some of the symptoms of alcohol because alcohol is a CNS depressant and coffee is a CNS stimulant, or rather, the caffeine in coffee is a CNS stimulant.
Can
Hmm.
make you
yeah,
feel
it's
more
similar
alert,
to the
but
fact that if
Yeah.
you're on the borderline alcohol poisoning, just take a line of coke, then you'll be fine.
Ah.
Don't ask me how I know that. I just do.
You'll still get
Hmm.
the alcohol poisoning from liver failing
Yeah,
to
but like,
metabolize it, but you won't have the cognitive symptoms.
yeah,
Your
exactly.
liver
Just
will
the
still be like,
cognitive.
"I'm dying here.
Yeah, I
so
know
so
that.
Please
coffee
stop."
would actually coffee does actually help with the brain part of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should mention that currently it is late morning.
Lovely.
What is the
Um,
exact opposite of speedballing?
he
Of what?
um
Oh, I
Shepard
was just.
reaches over to a coffee pot that's on the counter and pours some of it into a mug and hands it to you. That should at least help him be more alert.
Alright.
He seems to. That might be what he needs at the moment. He seems convinced the Quarian fleet was torn apart by the Geth.
I mean, there was a moment where it seemed like that might happen if
You don't need to remind me. We all heard you. We all we all heard you shouting over the comms.
he just stops talking.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I want to point out, Nilo has been having a sneaking suspicion of what he's been talking about this whole time,
Mm.
but has just been, but had wanted a better source
Hmm.
to help confirm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And surely the guy who ended a war by yelling would be the best guy, would be the best candidate for figuring it out.
Ah, yes.
So
After all, Talia loves watching him shout. It's
yeah,
fun.
oh, it is
That was
absolutely.
such a funny line in the second game.
Yep. Anyways, so I'm gonna come back out. I'm gonna come I'm gonna come back out and close the door behind me. I mean, it's probably automated, but
Yeah.
whatever. So I'm gonna come back out and here, you might try some of this. It's did it look hot?
Yeah, it was still at least pretty hot, like not freshly brewed hot, but still.
It okay.
It's not cold.
It may
Yeah.
be careful, it may be hot. I'm gonna I'm gonna help him drink some of it.
Yep, he drinks it.
Yeah.
How
Why am I good cop?
how do you know How do you know exactly how to make coffee for me?
We have
We
a
got someone inside to do it. Don't
we have
don't
we
don't
have a
think too
friend
hard.
on the throne. We have a friend who knows how to do it for
Lucky
our
guess?
kind.
Don't say lucky guess, because he'll
I
still think that this is
no
a
no
dream.
yeah no I'm just gonna be
Yeah,
like
Spartan's just going to tell him we have a friend that knows how to brew it for humans.
He seems satisfied.
yeah.
Whew, that's
You know,
some strong stuff.
Spartan just shrugs.
sorry about tying you up, but we can't exactly let you run around trying to strangle people.
Especially officials.
So you're telling me that the fleet wasn't destroyed?
As far as I can, considering I was on the fleet when the war was happening, I would say I'm a good source for it not having been destroyed.
I return my pistol to its mag mount on my leg, and then I just cross my arms over my chest.
Check. I'm actually gonna check something real quick out of game because I have no clue about
What are you looking up?
Han Garel. Wait, no, Garel's the
Heavy fleet.
yeah, he was the captain of the Nima, not the Raya.
Oh,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm sure you
Whatever.
still know who he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll take back any suggestions of me saying my captain because he wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, also he would have been admiral, not the captain.
Yeah, well,
Why
point is
There was a
he's
separate
he's
captain of
part of
the
the
Raya.
Admiralty board. He's not my
Yeah,
admiral.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Yours would have been chorus.
I should
Yeah.
mention that
Yes,
yes,
you're right.
that like yeah, if we're going by strictly what would have happened, yeah, there's no way Garrow would have survived that. But like, we'll
Yeah.
we'll ignore that for now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, that's fine. I'm less looking up that and I'm more trying to figure out what actually happened to the Raya.
Oh,
I'm just trying to figure out what happened to the Raya.
I'm pretty sure it
okay.
was
Because I don't
uh,
remember if it was shot down and that was the ship you had to rescue people from, or if
no. That wasn't the Raya because the Raya was the Raya's in the end scene if you fail to stop the conflict. Because then you hear the captain of the Raya making the Mayday call as you swatch overhead in the
oh,
sky
okay.
as
So
shot down. It was
and
some
now it's
other
just a matter
ship
of
that
whether or
Forrest
not
was on when that
well
got
now I
shot
just need
down. You
to
had to rescue.
well now I just need to double check what class of ship the Raya was.
It's a live ship.
Okay, then it
It's a small
might have
vehicle.
actually been converted into a settlement.
Yeah.
I was okay, so
So in other words, the
because
Raya is
based
one of
on
the
what I
biggest
know of the
ships
because
in Mass Effect space.
yeah,
Because the live ships are 2 kilometers,
I'm
which
actually
is
going to double
gigantic
check that.
for a Mass
I'm
Effect ship.
actually going to double check that information real quick because I don't because obviously I didn't because since the Raya was in combat over the battle for Earth
Hmm.
at one point, I have no clue if they converted it into a settlement or if it's still a ship.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it
I'm going to
might
check
not.
that real quick.
It might have been converted into a settlement. It might have been kept as a ship for the purposes of having a Quarian battleship. I
Yeah,
don't
He,
know.
Alright,
he, he
well
well,
that's
yeah
what well that's fine. That's what
he
I'm checking.
Yeah.
he looks around. What?
I ch- yeah. Uh, what is my what is my uh what would I need to make a search roll first to see if I can figure out what actually happened to my ship or
Um, no,
or did they
you probably would have figured that information out by now. The Raya was converted. Was one of the ships converted into a settlement? Yes.
Okay. I was. And I'm watching him for a little bit.
Mhm.
What was he about to do?
He wasn't really about to do anything. He's just looking around, confused.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I take a couple steps away and I whisper to Dicker,
You know,
would it be detrimental if we informed him about everything?
In terms of the in terms of the magic of the situation or his mental state.
The former, the mental state probably would not be helpful.
It shouldn't cause any destabilization.
Would it help fix the problem?
If by some miracle he readily accepted it, maybe.
Ah, well,
that's.
lovely.
Yeah.
I return to where he's standing and I just stand there
Okay.
silently, menacingly.
Wes- Wh- How are you feeling?
I'm not sure.
Would you like another drink? I'm still holding the mug because I don't know if
No,
he drank all of it or not.
no, I don't think so. I think I think I just need time to think. Is there somewhere you could lock me up to make sure I don't cause any further harm?
I look at Legion.
At least he seems to be somewhat sensible.
Or
Legion
actually, yeah, or go ahead.
Legion reports there being a brig nearby.
There's a brig nearby. Going to.
Like vaguely nearby, like it's not like across the street or something.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
gonna I'm
Because
gonna
there's
pull
also
up
a
the
brig on this ship.
I'm gonna pull up the map using those keywords.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yep, it gives you a route.
Mhm.
all right. Let's all right. We are going to. All right. All right. There's a there's a brig not terribly far from here. We can have you we can hold you there for a time.
That would probably be for the best.
On your feet. Come on. Up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yep.
Head that way for a little bit. I need to go put this down. Uh, well, I'm
You
gonna
just
head.
show me the. I just look at the map briefly. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna head back to the. I'm gonna head back inside
Hmm.
and tell them they might want. I'm gonna tell them they might want to call the brig ahead and tell them there's gonna be a weird frickin' thing they're gonna have to do. Gonna
All
have to
right.
call ahead and be like, hey, we need you to lock up a guy that looks like Shepard, but also try not to tell him that you look a lot like Shepard.
They
So we gotta tell them about the
yeah
universe instead.
they say able to do that.
Yeah. While also thanking them and giving back their mug.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But yeah, you take him over to the brig. The Quarians inside are very confused, but they received the message ahead of time from
Mhm.
Yeah,
from the others. So
from
they
Real Shepherd and Admiral.
Yep. So they lock him up in a
Mhm.
cell.
I
Yeah,
just keep an eye on him. We'll
I was
be back.
really looking forward to taking his hands.
will be. Yeah, so
Okay.
we're running the investigation, so
Yep.
we'll be back.
Yep.
Mhm.
So it's about then that Legion search finishes from earlier.
Yeah.
He
All right.
finds 3 reports from across the galaxy.
Lovely.
Um, one report of Shepard making cheesy motivational speeches on the Citadel. One report of a masked man in N7 armor slaughtering mercenaries on Omega, and one report of the Normandy being sighted on Palaven after not having been seen since the Battle of Earth.
Ooh, a ghost ship.
Mm.
All right. Let's.
You know these worlds?
Palaven is the homeworld of the Turians.
Ticker seems to be getting a message, and he tells you, "Oh, it looks like the repairs are ahead of schedule.
That's
Skirbo
good.
managed to send some human crew members to barter for parts. I whatever you did that stabilized us during the crash should be able to be done naturally now. So we can leave whenever you're ready."
There are.
Well, do we
Did
leave
Ticker
Master
hear?
Shepherd here?
I go. I'm like. So first of all, I'm going to have Legion forward them to me, and I'm gonna look them over.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're from reputable news sites.
Yeah.
But they don't really have a whole lot more details than what Legion told you.
Do they have timestamps?
Is there a timestamp for the one on the Citadel or the?
There are timestamps for all 3, and they are all very recent.
Okay.
We should probably check with Shepard and see if any of these match anything he may know.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, so we're just walking back into the guy's house again.
I don't think, because I do not, and I have no reason to, but given the way we crashed earlier, I have no reason to believe that you have a. I don't think you have you have a drive relay to be able to use a Mass Effect relay.
Perhaps not.
FTL will only get you so far.
Wait, you don't use slip space drives?
Why would we need to tear a hole in the universe when the Mass Effect relays can just slingshot you almost instantaneously to any other Mass Effect relay?
Well, I suppose that would be a bit convenient.
You'll find that the Duchess can move a lot faster than you'd expect it to. Out of character, one of the modifications to the Duchess is it can like partially shift into the astral sea, which
Ah,
basically lets it move at astral speeds while within a sphere.
all right.
Wait, but
Well,
wouldn't that mess with the time-space
No,
continuum?
yeah,
Oh.
because being on the Duchess keeps you synced.
yeah.
Ah,
Anyways, well,
That's part of why the Duchess occasionally has to return to Spheres or to Siren's Rest, because they have to restore the synchronization.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Right.
we're gonna head back to
Shepherd's house.
Shepherd's
Oh,
house,
Hmm.
to
gotta break
the
into it
shepherd's
again.
farm. No, like the good little sheep I am.
All right,
No.
now you go back.
uh, so we're gonna. I'm going to ask him if he knows. I'm gonna ask them if they know anything about any of these things.
Well, I
Because
know I
I
haven't.
obviously haven't been on the Sphere, so for all I know, he did do a cheesy motivational speech.
Well, I haven't been to the Citadel or Omega in months, or Palaven for that matter. Though it could just be Garrus.
A friend of yours has your ship?
Yes.
He was put in command of the Normandy after I retired.
Ah.
Might still be good to get in contact with the Normandy if there are multiple shepherds running around. What is the also this was before the I vaguely remember this from before the battle for Earth, but this came up in my search earlier. What is this about the would this would this footage of the Normandy crashing through the Citadel's buildings have anything to do with the clone you mentioned earlier?
He he laughs a little bit. Yeah, that was an interesting scenario.
What a day. Yeah, make sure nobody takes my ship again. Anyways. Great. We should
Get going.
we should yes.
What are we going to
Although
do
I'm
about
not sure
not
what
ship?
to do about the
Other
commander
him?
shepherd I'm going to call him.
What we get? What are we doing with not Shepherd or Drunk Shepherd, whatever we're calling him? We
Well,
just gonna leave him here?
he's currently locked up at the moment, so I don't think we
Yeah.
need to
He
do
seemed
much to
receptive to
stop him.
trying to understand what's he seemed more or less receptive to trying to understand what's going on. Like I
Um,
said, he's convinced the Geth-Quarian war went poorly.
He could
okay,
probably
so
use
I
some time to sober up fully and
right. Give him
think
a few
without
days.
think without the influence of alcohol.
all right. We're going to go off planet to see if we can find out more about what's going on. Kiva, I have no idea how the rest of the galaxy is going to look.
We've managed to. The galaxy has managed to rebuild quite well.
Considering the massive casualties, I suppose everyone wants to rebuild.
Alright, so yeah, you get back out to the ship. Ticker
Already
drop. What?
already rebuilt, I see.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Ticker drops his disguise when you reach the ship again. And you see that it's very obviously an illusion when he drops the disguise. Like
Yeah,
you can see it like fade out.
yeah.
Well, she
Interesting.
was spoofed by it the first time, not the other time.
Good.
Well, where to first?
Uh,
Okay.
Skirvo looks over the fact that that one of the strays who should have stayed behind has returned. Good
Well,
news or
that
bad
came up
news, Mr.
more.
Picker?
A
You
mix of
forgot one
both.
detail.
Which one do you want to hear first?
Is there any way for me to get you to just say both of them?
He he looks at him for a moment. Something is going wrong with Nilo's signature, getting desynchronized from her sphere, which shouldn't be possible, but we have a lead as to how to fix it.
And that lead is
There are duplicates of someone in this. There are temporal duplicates in this sphere, which seem to be destabilizing it. Ticker goes into a little more
again.
detail. To be
Yeah,
clear,
yeah,
I'm
he
just
yeah. I'm just having Skirvo go. Buggin' temporal. Duchess reappears. Temporal. Time displacement. Buckle up for a shite storm. This we're all of this. All is weird fun. So what's the heading?
he looks at
I
Nilo.
need
If I
to double
remember
check it.
where,
I need to double check the galaxy map
out
to.
of character, if I recall, Omega is actually the closest one to Quarry in space.
It should be, yes.
Yeah, because Palaven and Earth are both on the bottom of the Milky Way, and the Perseus
Yeah.
Veil is in the top right.
Yeah.
No,
Vega's
So
sort of
but
upper
I think
middle.
we should probably go to the one where someone is actively shooting up the place.
I was
Hmm.
saying Omega is the closest.
Yeah.
Palaven's probably the
I'm going
friendliest,
to.
considering it's a boy, Garrus.
You have a.
Probably.
Do you have a? Do you have a system to bring up a galaxy map?
He presses a few buttons on a console, and a 3D galaxy map pops up.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and have Legion help me upload our mapped galaxy map,
Yep,
or at least the one that currently exists.
yep.
Mhm.
Considering that Batarian space is completely wrecked.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the map
Remarkable.
updates.
Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and point out the 3 leads we have, and it's a real good thing that we got that update because I actually have no clue where the Citadel is at the moment.
It's
Well,
back where it
Remember, that
was.
thing moves.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's back
it's
where it
back in the
was
second
before.
nebula.
Okay, so I'm going to point out the closest lead we have is Omega. However, or Omega is always been known as a hellhole.
Oh,
Many
lovely.
it's been the it's been the from what I recall reading about it, it is a cesspool of gang violence, drug cartels, basically the center hub for most criminal organizations.
Does it not
Oh,
have any
perfect.
planetary
Sounds like
government?
home.
This is Palaven, home to the Turians. Very very astute, and the and gaining access to the Normandy may glean some old allies of someone who could really of people who could gain who have a lot of pull in this galaxy. Pull as in war heroes. Ah.
Lovely.
The and this is the Citadel. It is the furthest, but it is also possibly the safe. But it is also we are also less likely to run into any significant trouble there.
Lovely.
Well, you'd have to come back here to Rannoch anyways when you want to deal with the drunkard.
So,
Out of character, we could make a circle of the thing. Go to Palvin, then go to Citadel, then go to Omega, then go to back to Rannoch. Just do a giant
good.
loop.
Sounds perfect. Let's
We could do that.
let's do that.
All right,
Works for me.
Paladin
We could.
first.
Yeah. R7's going to go ahead and plot a coordinates.
All right. So yeah, as the ship starts to accelerate, you see the galaxy around you starts to look a little bit translucent, and
This is not the direction of a Mass Effect relay.
we can use you. We can dip partially into the astral sea to move at astral speeds within a sphere. Long
And
story
Is
how
that
short,
fast is that?
long story short, we can move through spheres without using faster than light travel.
How fast is astral speed?
You see that you are moving on the map very rapidly.
Oh wow.
visibly seeing your movement on a galaxy map is ridiculous?
Yeah,
Hmm.
we should be there
That
in half an hour.
Oh,
Oh, half an
lovely.
hour.
that's. Is there even any kind of work you're going to make us do in that short of time?
I don't think I could swap the deck in 30 minutes.
Neither could I.
Yeah, but the 30 minutes go by and you arrive on Palaven.
Skirvo's looking at the way the Turians are set up. I like their structure. Military culture, eh?
Reminds me of
See,
Sangheili.
you
They don't have any
see,
orbital defense platforms. Clearly a horrendous oversight.
yeah, you
They all would have been destroyed in the Reaper attacks.
you land the ship behind a
Yeah.
ridge, so that they land the ship behind the ridge so that it's not super visible.
Hmm.
Um, well,
So we're on Palavin itself, not one of
yes,
the
you are
moons.
on Palaven itself.
Okay. Well, you're more familiar with this place. Lead the way.
I am really not.
I
I've
just look at you and like, at least
never
if
been
we
here.
are, at least they will know what you
You are
are.
landed near a spaceport, to be clear.
Yeah. We're gonna. Well, let's start with this. Well, let's start with the spaceport. See if we can hear any rumors.
Mm, that would be a good place to start. If it weren't for the fact that none of us would obviously not have clearance, I would suggest checking the military docks, but those are likely under. Have to have clearance codes, IDs, all that stuff.
There is
You
a
could
saying
probably
about
fake your way in.
Turians. There is a saying about Turians. You'll never find one without a stick up their ass.
Lovely.
Yeah, you walk into the spaceport. It's a pretty big and active one. There's people of different species, mostly Turians, but you see some humans, you see some Quarians, you see some other species.
Actually, kind of makes sense to see Quarians here now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not only the same culture, but the fact that interspecies relationship between the two are actually somewhat common.
Hmm.
Not like extremely common, but fairly common.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they do have the advantage of both being same type amino acid structure.
Absolutely. It also doesn't help that one of the more formative films of most Quarians' childhood youths is apparently a rom-com between a Quarian and a Turian.
Hmm.
May or may not explain why Tally uh, is into that human.
Anyways,
Or Garrus if you don't go with her for whatever reason.
yep. Anyways, so yeah, you get to the spaceport.
Hmm.
And most
Yes, we
importantly,
are in the space.
And most importantly, if you're Fem Shepherd and take Garrus out of the equation by dating him, you could potentially run into drunk dialogue where she fantasizes about the both of you at
Yeah.
once,
Yeah.
Oh,
All
which
right.
is amazing.
Okay.
Moving
So,
on.
we are on
Anyways,
this planet. Why are we on this planet again? It's like this is
we're
the
There was
looking
quest
for the
around.
Normandy.
yeah,
looking for a ship.
the Normandy was sighted here.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So,
We're
Using my height advantage, I wish to look around to see if I can just like physically see any of the ships docked and
You can
looking for
see
the
some of the
words
ships.
Normandy painted on the side
You
of one of
cannot
them.
see any ships that say Normandy.
yeah.
Okay. Say,
um,
probably
I
should have
should
asked this.
probably show you what the Normandy actually
What
looks like.
what
I
class
pull up
ship
the
is Normandy?
I pull up the I'm gonna pull up the SR2.
Okay. It sounds like Spencer wanted to say something. So
He wanted to know
yeah.
what class.
So, what is it? I am going to find someone who works at this place. Hopefully, there's some kind of help desk or
yeah,
some place that looks like a help desk. And
yeah.
I'm going to ask them, hey, have you seen the Normandy or around here?
Another damn tourist.
Yeah, that's what the help desk person said.
Why, yes, I am very interested in this ship. I'll play into whatever stereotype they give me.
Make a persuasion check.
All right.
Whatever
We're
gets
all
you
on the
out of his
same
hair,
wavelength
right?
here.
Whatever gets you out of his metaphorical hair, right?
His friend?
Considering this is definite, like I imagine that because obviously this guy's a Turian, because we're gonna typecast him.
The
Yep.
phrase would be "get him out of his fringe."
Yeah, but the but like I
Dirty
picture that
20.
despite the completely alien face, he still somehow conveys that perfectly human customer service. I want to die.
he sigh. He looks at you for a moment and just sighs really deeply. Taps a few buttons on a nearby thing, like a nearby like little computer thing. Looks like it's still docked here for another couple days. You won't be able to get close to it, you understand. Military surveillance and all that.
Quite certain. I just wanted to see it with my own
Wait
eyes.
a second.
Thank you for your help.
You know what?
Overhearing. I assume I overhear some of this between
Hmm.
having augmented Spartan senses and they're not
Yes,
trying to
you
hide
overhear it.
anything.
You overhear it.
I then turn to Neil and whisper, "Do you think that they would buy my rank being well in their version of the human navy instead of my version?"
I don't think your rank is high enough. The Normandy was Spectre status last I checked,
And what
which
is
was
that?
basically
Known as
black
Spec
ops. Black ops
Ah,
above the law, that sort of
Right.
thing.
I crack my
I had
knuckles. I am a Spartan too. Black ops are what we do. But I get your
You are
drift.
not going to convince them that you
Probably
are
not.
under Shepard's command.
Probably not.
However,
What
I
kind of class
didn't
We're
ship
get.
is that
not.
anyway?
Uh-uh.
What
Yep.
kind of class ship is
However,
it?
if
It's awfully
we
small.
should,
Corvette?
we are overcomplicating things. Should be able to get some. Might be able to get some. Might be able to. You see, the Normandy is still Shepard's old ship. Maybe he has some old. Maybe he still has some pull.
Hmm.
We'll
Perhaps.
need a con. We'll need a con. I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna need an act to use like an actual comm booth to
Okay.
be able to
Probably not.
contact long distance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll need a comm booth. That if you get if we get word in from Shepard, that might actually get us an in faster any other any other methods we could think of. Would also land us in a lot less trouble.
True, true.
It cannot be stated how much Shepard did for this galaxy.
I'm starting to get that feeling.
all right.
As
You
you
might
as
be
we
a
pass
bit-
by a freaking billboard showing that
Yeah.
briefly shows freaking hero of the galaxy.
All right,
Reminds me of
let's find his
117.
comm booth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What do these things
Yeah.
look like?
I forget.
Uh,
I,
I am
I think
gonna.
that's sort of the wheel things, if I'm picturing them right from Mass Effect. Like you sit inside and it's like you got a screen in front of it and so forth.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
it's another console effectively.
That or we just use Legion to talk through Geth and be like, hey.
I don't think he has. I don't think he has the right equipment right now.
Yeah, probably not. He's
I don't
probably
think
in a
he.
damaged state.
Yeah, you'll get
Besides,
that
even
equipment eventually. That's called the sending spell, and no, you don't have it yet.
Yeah.
yeah, and it
No.
doesn't help that, and it doesn't help that even he had to use FTL comm buoys.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
do find it. You do find a booth.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
I look at
Mm,
the thing and I'm like, you're doing this. I am not squeezing in there.
Got it.
I have no concept of
I'm
what a
going to.
telephone is.
I'm going to type.
Make it quick.
I'm going to hilariously. I'm going to end up basically dialing up the. Uh, good lord, I didn't get anyone's. I didn't get anyone's contact info, did I? Or
They,
no,
they,
I guess I'm.
We'll say that.
yeah, they
I
probably
pro-
gave you their contact info. Spencer, you're not
Yeah,
DMing this.
I know. I know.
yeah. Sorry, I just realized I was like I never roleplayed that. Oh well. I'm gonna go ahead and call them up.
Yeah.
um. Hello. We we seem to have located the Normandy, but obviously we have no clearance to be able to get near it.
That was fast.
I was surprised too.
He So it's on Palaven, right?
Paladin. I say what docking station we're at,
He
or at least what I can glean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He thinks for a second. Mm, I'll make a I'll make a call. Should
Sorry to be
be
asking so much of you.
Seems like it's something important. I can't imagine it would be good if it would be good for anything in our universe if whatever it is happens.
Probably not. And thank you.
Right? So yeah, you make your way over to
Yeah.
the docking bay that it's in.
All right. Now we should be good.
There are a pair of
Soon-ish.
Turians standing guard.
I'm going to try to project the I know what I'm doing here.
I'm standing behind you and off to
Yeah,
whichever shoulder Legion's not standing behind.
they
Yeah.
they hold out a hand. One of them holds out a hand for you to stop. You don't
I
have
stop.
clearance to be here. And then he seems to get a message, like on
Give
like a
it a
comm
moment.
piece.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. It appears you actually do. Carry on.
Under- Understandable confusion.
I just nod my head
And
at
he
them as I walk past.
have uh have a good day. I'll I'll go ahead and we'll head towards the ship.
Okay.
See if we can find anybody actually in charge of this stinking thing.
Mhm.
Although admittedly still kind of weird being on this ship too.
Yeah.
Looks a lot I bet it looks a sight better than it did in Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Considering it was unfinished.
Yeah.
Oh, the interior? Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely been refitted. Um. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go up to it.
Like
Yeah.
a standard size Corvette. Maybe even a heavy prowler. You have
If I remember,
stealth
it is a
capabilities.
stealth ship.
So it is a prowler. Not the size of a Sahara class. Well, definitely a lot sleeker. Sahara class. Ugly thing. But effective. Very effective.
All right. Let's see about.
Also fits with the whole Black
Let's
Rocks
see.
thing.
I actually don't know
Okay.
what the boarding ramp looks like, but that's down currently.
Wouldn't it be more like a jetway?
Yeah, jetway. The point is that you can like it is
We can
possible.
get in.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can get in.
Okay. Head on
use an
into
airlock.
the ship because I was about to say I was like I really hope I don't have to try to break into this with a
Yeah.
toothbrush.
Yeah,
So you
it's either going to be an airlock, a jetway with the airlock, or it's going to be up the cargo ramp.
Yeah, definite. When Normandy's on dock, it's usually got a jet wing to the
Yeah, to the
to its airlock.
yeah, you,
yeah,
you you come out, you come in through the airlock, and you find yourself on that little com deck thing.
hmm the
Uh,
CIC.
yeah, the CIC. Um,
Turn on the.
several people are standing there, including a scarred Turian.
Ah, yes.
That should be. And
Are you the ones I was told to expect on my ship?
You the commanding officer?
I am.
yeah,
Good. You found
yes.
the right person then.
Based
Um,
on based on descriptions, I'm fairly certain you're Garrus Vicarian.
You'd be correct.
She's definitely saying smash to this.
Oh, get. Oh, Oh, absolutely. This is. Oh, absolutely. Do you realize how the scars are given funny feelings? No. uh,
How smashing?
yeah. It's
Smashing that?
but
there's
remember,
no.
we can't make him laugh. It makes his face hurt.
Yeah. Well, no, not anymore. That was only when he
True,
was still
true,
freshly shot.
He
true,
seems to be
true. But
he seems to be confused as to why you're here.
um, sir, perhaps we might
So
want to have this conversation away from the rest of the crew,
you
not to cause panic or anything.
you something about I heard something about shepherd clones having been a thing you've dealt with before.
Back on the Citadel before the end of the war.
He probably gave a laugh when we said that
Yeah,
first, though.
yeah.
Yeah. My non-zero chance of that happening again.
Oh,
That's the short version.
That is the short, easy to understand version. That's
hmm
like a fair enough.
No, that's actually what the Spartan said. That's the short version.
well,
Yep.
well. If you're
Eh,
here about the recent sighting of the Normandy on here on Palaven, that was just me.
It was. It would be good. We thought it'd be good to also double check to make sure it wasn't about to get hijacked. Apparently, that was a thing that happened.
No, we keep better security. We keep better security now. Besides, Grunt doesn't really like to go out much here on Palaven, and
Of
I'm
course,
pretty sure
grunts
he
the
would crush
security.
anyone who would try to hijack the ship.
Of course, grunt is the heightened security. Fantastic.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
Golden. That
I mean,
is
why wouldn't he?
perfect.
Listen, it's either going on fantastic adventures again,
hmm
or staying behind and helping facilitate a new future for the Krogan. Okay, okay. In all honesty, that's actually a hard choice,
hmm
especially for him. And
Yeah.
hmm
maybe he's still young enough that he wants to fight rather than. Anyways,
Anywho,
anyways, we're all right. Well, I'm gonna I'm going to hand him the uh, an ability to contact us. We are currently leading the investigation for Shepard, so if you do see or hear anything of out of the ordinary, please do let us know. It
Noted.
will. Now we need to follow 2 more leads on the Citadel and Omega.
He like grimaces a little bit. Can't say I envy you in either case. Bureaucrats or a bunch of bureaucrats or everyone
Bureaucrats are
trying to
criminals.
point. Yeah, bureaucrats or everyone trying to point a gun at you. Mm, neither one sounds like fun.
Right. Well, we should let you get back to work.
He waves you
I
away.
should go. Yeah, sorry. I should go. Anyways,
Sorry.
I should go.
He gives you a strange look when you say that.
No, sorry.
He has.
It's
He
like
probably has
it's
the
like, is
weirdest
it
sense of
spreading?
deja vu ever.
Is it spreading? Is it spreading? It's some kind of disease, clearly. No, anyways.
The virus.
Anyways, let's go.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Back to the Duchess.
Back to the
Indeed.
Duchess. Good news is that this was just a case of mistaken identity. It seems that not a lot of people are aware that Shepard is no longer in command of the Normandy.
Perhaps that's a good thing for his sake.
Yes. So now let's go talk to some bureaucrats.
Oh,
All right,
To the
lovely.
Citadel.
you get to the Citadel.
Massive station, by the way.
Yeah, massive
Yeah. So
station,
seeing as I'm
the
like,
5 big pedals.
like,
Yeah.
now this is a space station.
Hey, look, Mads, there's
What?
your flower.
Wonder how big it is compared to a
He's
hair.
gonna start picking flowers.
No, no.
The,
We were saying the station is a giant steel flower.
Oh, never mind.
yeah,
No
There's your
flowers.
flower.
the report of Shepard telling cheesy speeches was around a specific part of the Citadel.
All right. Was it in the wards or was it in the Presidium?
It was in the wards.
Good. Good. It's a lot easier to go around in the wards than it is the Presidium. Then again, their entire structure could have been reworked after Mass Effect 3. I don't frickin' know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You dock, you get through security.
Got a lot of weird ass looks from docking a frickin' 17th
Sailing
century
ship.
vessel.
Yeah, but they decided to just not. They decided just like this isn't the weirdest. Like this isn't the weirdest thing I've seen all year. Whatever.
Yeah, it's just
So like,
lower the
a lot of them are
gang.
probably like, at least they're not shooting at us,
Yeah,
which is a very low bar to have set.
yeah, and it's just, just be like, well, that went as we get to the elevator to get to the wards. That went smoother than I expected. How do you explain trying to dock an old sailing ship?
I don't. But then again, your definition of old sailing ship and mine are very different.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
so you get down to the area. You go to the specific place that it was talking about. It was in a bit of like a commerce district, and yeah, you hear his voice. It is a very cheesy motivational speech.
I just realized what it might be, and it's gonna make me so happy if it's true.
Oh, the
Let's
Shepherd
go.
GI.
Yeah, if that's what it is. Let's go check it out.
All right, yeah, you go find it. There's some people watching. It looks like he's there. So make perception checks, please.
Perceptions.
Oof.
If I'm not mistaken, that was
Vagar sees it.
one
Hey.
sec. Yes.
Oh, no.
Wow.
And Hilo also sees it. You see basically Shepard flickering, and you see like a when you see him flicker out of existence, you see a cone of light coming from the side of the stage that he's on. Little like stage thing that he's on.
Is
Many
that
of
a
these guys are there.
is that is that a was that a Shepherd VI?
Well, no, he's still there. He just flickers very occasionally, and it's hard to notice unless you're really paying attention.
Okay.
So he's there, but not there?
Yeah.
That's seems to not be there.
Okay.
Let's see.
Like
So
a
does that mean
projection?
that he's someplace else,
Go
but
back.
he's like astral
Let's see.
projecting to that?
Astral projecting what?
No, that
I don't
should
know.
be
Just like I don't know how to like explain.
that should be a. Let's see if we can find the emitter.
You saying it's a hologram?
I'm thinking it is.
Make an investigation check.
Where is my investigaty weighty? Oh, same as my perceiving.
Yep, you find it. It's around the side of the stage. It's a little emitter over there, and you see a note attached to it.
What does the note say?
Uh, basically, basically got you, and then you see Kasumi Goto's signature. Basically, this was a practical joke that she was playing on Shepard.
I'm gonna go ahead and snap a pic of that, and then I'm going to just set it up so that can be sent when I pass by the nearest
Conbuy.
comm booth with with message attached. This mean anything to you?
Right. Yeah. Um.
Citadel's a bust.
Yeah. You get a message back saying that it was a friend
Yeah.
playing a practical joke.
2 out of 3 seems to be fine. Let's check Omega.
All right. We're gonna end off there.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching, anyone. Might be back next week, might not. You have to wait and see. You can find the archives over in the archive channel. Bye.